Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a stretch text animation like Pixrate in 3 easy steps. As always, a huge shout out to Pixrate and its amazing works for the community. You can also check Pixrate Instagram and I will put the link in the description. Let's start by making a new composition. I'm going to click on new composition to set up a composition and I'm going to call it the text design. The width is set on 9020 by 1080, which is fine. And the duration is 4 seconds, so let's hit OK. So the first thing I'm gonna do is that I'm going towards my type tool and I'm gonna write the word subscribe. And then I'm gonna place it down in here. And by the way, I'm using the railway font, which has a lot of different weights. And I highly suggest you to use a font which has different weights for this type of animations. So on the next step, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to duplicate this text one more time and then I'm going to change its font to regular. Now I'm going to select the first text and I'm going to change its color to a red color. And lastly, I'm going to press S and I'm going to turn off the chain option and I'm going to stretch it like this. Alright, so here's the basic design that we have in here. So let's just push it a bit down. Now let's move towards the second step, which is letter morphing and stretching animation. Now I have a dedicated video about how to morph the letters weights where I explain everything in details, but please stay until the end of this video where I show you how to do it. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna right click on bottom text and then I'm gonna turn it into shape. Same as the second one. Now I'm gonna delete the original text. Now, on the next step, you need to set keyframes on path. So I'm gonna use a crazy shape plugin by Motion Design School to do that. And I will put the script link in the description. But if you don't have it, you just need to go manually into each word and set a keyframe for path. And if you're still having an issue with path animation, I have another video that shows you 6 tricks in order to master the path animation in After Effects. So now that I have placed the keyframes, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to press the tilde key to go towards the keyframes. And I'm going to press Ctrl+C to copy the keyframes and then I'm going to select them. This is really important. And then once again, I'm going to paste them by pressing Ctrl+V. Now, if I get back, we will have an animation like this. Now for the next step, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a loop by copying the first keyframes and then I will paste them into 2 seconds. Now what I'm going to do is that let's pull this timeline a bit up so we can see better. So now I'm going to select every keyframe and then I'm going to right click on them and then I'm going to keyframe assistance and I will select easy ease. And then I'm going to give each handle around 80% influence. Something like this. Great. Now what I'm going to do is that on the last step, I'm gonna press S to set a keyframe on the scale and exactly on 1 second, I'm gonna turn the stretching to 100 and I will push back the text into its original position as well. So this time, instead of setting the easings in Graph Editor, I'm gonna use the Motion Tools Pro to set the easings to 80%. I highly suggest you to download this free plugin that has many features and saves you a lot of time. And I will also put the link in the description. So this is the basic animation for now. So what I will do, I'm gonna go towards the second layer and I'm gonna press U. And this time I'm gonna copy the first set of keyframes from the first layer and then I'm gonna make sure that I'm going to paste them in here. Then I'm gonna use 80% influence to finish up the animation like this. Now, this time I'm going to select this layer and make sure the anchor point is set on top. And again, we are going to open the scale value and then I'm going to scale it exactly for 288%. Also make sure the chain option is off. Great. Now it is time to create an offset between the animations. So to do that, it is easy. Now, if you don't have the Motion Tools Pro, I highly suggest you to download it. But if by any chance you can download it for now, you need to duplicate each letter and then you need to start deleting each word in order to separating the letters. But I'm going to use the motion tools and I'm going to click on the extract feature, which is going to explode all of the content inside of the shape layer, and it's going to help me out a lot and it saves your time a lot. So I'm going to turn these layers into red. And then again, I'm going to press the tilde key and I'm going to offset each letter by 1 frame. So one thing that we really need to pay attention is that we need to make sure that the anchor points are in the right place. So I'm going to change the anchor points to bottom to fix the stretching. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to select this layer and I'm going to click on explode again. And then I'm going to make sure that I will set the anchor points to top this time. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to press U. Also, I'm going to press the tilde key and I'm going to select them. And then this time I'm going to offset them by 1 frame again. Now it is time to move on to the last step, which is adding the effects. But please, before we move on to the next step, if you have enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to leave out a like and subscribe to the channel, as it helps me out a lot to grow on YouTube. Now I'm going to click on this empty space in here and then I'm going to click on new composition, and this time I'm going to set the composition on 9020 by 9020. And then I'm going to rename this one to effects. And then I'm going to bring down the text on here. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a new adjustment layer. And this time I want to add some chunky texture to our animation. So I'm going to call it the effects. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add the fast box blur effect. Now I'm going to blur this one for like 10 pixels. Now to fix the blurriness, the next effect I'm going to add is CC threshold. And then I'm going to change the channel to alpha, and also I'm going to turn this into 130. So we are slowly getting that chunky edges that we want. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add another effect called turbulent displace, and then I'm going to change the amount to 25 and the size to 10. So now we have that chunky look that we want, which is good. Now I want to add a sort of a wave displacement into our animation. So to do that, I'm going to create a new solid layer and then I'm going to call it displacement map. And I'm going to move it beneath. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a gradient ramp effect. Now I have another video that explains everything regarding the time displacement, which will pop up right now and you can watch it. So I'm going to hide this layer, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add the time displacement effect. Now I'm going to change it to displacement map. And then let's change the time displacement layer to effects and masks. And now I'm going to change the max displacement time to 250. And then I'm going to reduce their time resolution to 0.6. So we will have something like this. Alright, now for the last step, I'm going to create a new composition and I'm going to call it main. And then I'm going to bring down the effects. And also you can add a Gaussian blur effect and you can increase it by a small pixel such as 4 or 2 to reduce the edges if you want. But however, I think it's fine. So here we are at the end of this video, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave the like and subscribe to my channel, as it will help me out a lot for the future content. Also, if you're struggling with path animation and time displacement effect, you can check these videos.